Okay, so we're gonna film the first time tag. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, let me get the questions. Okay, question number 1. What was your first job?
This is only my second job I've ever worked.
Yeah.
My first job was at Culver's. I worked for Culver's, which is a restaurant here in the Midwest. And it's just like, I don't know, just like a restaurant.
They serve ice cream and
custard.
Oh, custard.
It's premium ice cream, okay?
Whatever.
It was like weird. Like at first I like loved it. I started like as soon as I turned 16.
My first job was working at Jewel. I worked there for 4 years, and I actually liked being a bagger, and then I moved my way up to being a cashier.
Ooh.
And then I hated that because it was so stressful, and like there were so many different things that you had to deal with. And
did you have to like stand in the same spot all day?
Yeah, and couponing was just like not fun, and I just got like too stressed out. And then I moved up
and Jewel is a grocery store, by the way.
Oh,
like a grocery store chain.
Sorry. And then I moved up to become a like set person for the bakery department.
Oh, I was like a set person.
For like, I set up like all the bread that needed to be baked for like the next day. And that was kind of tough, and I always was like working in the freezer, so I was freezing cold and had to wear like so many layers, and that kind of sucked. But overall, it was like an okay job.
You met a lot of good people there though, right?
Yeah, I met one of my best friends today, so that was kind of a good thing. But yeah, it was an okay job, and now I'm a part-time nanny. Yay!
Ooh, better money, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, the second is, what was your first car?
The same car that I still drive.
Me too.
Well, my first car was like that was in my name is my 1994 blue Honda Civic, which still 20 years old. It still works great. And then like I obviously drive like the Volkswagen. That was like the first car I ever drove, I guess. But
yeah. My first car, it's not actually in my name, it's in my parents' name. So I drive a Volkswagen Beetle, a 1999 or 1998 actually. My bad. It's a white Volkswagen Beetle.
It's so cute.
I love it. It's so easy to drive and park. And
Volkswagens are so easy to drive.
Yeah.
Like, I love Volkswagens.
So my boyfriend this morning, and then he answered me back at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So
8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's when I was up, like 8:48.
Yeah, that's okay. I was too. It was definitely you. And then Kirsten, my best friend from Indiana, texted me after that. Yeah, but it was you.
Yeah.
I had to work this morning. What's the next one?
The next one is, who is your first grade teacher?
Mrs. Moore was my first grade teacher. Yeah. She was so cute. I went to the same, starting from kindergarten to 12th grade, I went to the same school, the same building, the same teachers mostly stayed around. So I knew Mrs. Moore like all the way until I graduated. But yeah, first grade, Mrs. Moore.
That's crazy. My first grade teacher was Mrs. Furnish, and she was an amazing teacher. She was like the teacher from Matilda. That's who I would like describe her as. Yeah, she was such a sweet lady, and I actually did a teacher assistant program through my high school with her, and like, oh, she was the best mentor, and like she's just so nice, and I would love to work with her like any day. Isn't
it funny how like you can always remember like your first grade teacher, like they just stick in your mind, you know what I mean?
I remember like all my like 1st through 5th grade teachers.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I loved elementary school. I think that was probably like the best.
I'm trying to think of things I learned in first grade. I guess to read. Like I learned cursive in 3rd grade, and I remember learning like those little like alphabet books in kindergarten.
Right.
All I remember is Mrs. Moore. And when we had a pet hamster.
Oh,
and we had this thing where we used to have this stuffed teddy bear, and I forget what his name was, but every week you like had the chance to take him home.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Did you guys do anything like that when you were like in first grade?
We had like the bag that you take home, and like it was like show and tell that you had to do, and I just remember in first grade we made our own books.
Oh, really?
So we got to like make up stories and like illustrate them and stuff, and like that was so fun. It was so cool. And we each had a pet butterfly too. Aww. That was really cool, and it hatched, and then when it hatched and like became a butterfly, we had to let it go, and it was just so cool.
So cute.
Yeah. So I liked first grade.
Yeah. Those were the days.
Yeah. Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane?
When I was a kid, we traveled a lot. It was either... Hawaii was when I was a little older. I think it would have been to Orlando, Florida, because we used to go to Disney World all the time.
I feel like that was my first time, too.
So, I'm pretty sure it was, like, one of the first times I went to Disney World. I was probably, like, really young, like, under 5.
Same. I don't know. Yeah. It was either then or... I don't even know if we drove or not, or flew. If then it was... If not then...
Well, because you're one of your older ones, so there wasn't that many of you back then, right?
Yeah, so it would have been like it was like recently, like a couple years ago.
Was your first airplane ride?
Yeah, probably when I was like 18 when I went to Colorado or Montana. My brother paid for my flight and
that's awesome.
Flew me out to Montana and we went like whitewater rafting and hiking and
that's
it was
so much fun. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Huh?
Who
was your first
your first best friend?
And do you still talk?
I'm trying to think.
I know mine. My first best friend was my friend Caitlin. We were friends in preschool and it was so cute because I like still remember when she was like, "Hi, I'm Caitlin. Like, do you want to be my friend?" And it was just so cute.
That's so cute.
We don't really talk now, now that we're...
How old were you? Oh, preschool.
Preschool, so like really young. So what, 4, 5? 4? Yeah. Something like that. But yeah, we were friends forever. And like...
Did you guys go to like middle school or high school together?
Yeah, we went through like all through elementary school, all through middle school, all through high school. So it was really nice. But yeah, we don't really talk anymore. I mean, I see her on like occasion and it's not like anything's different or anything, so yeah.
I feel like I always jumped back and forth between friends because I went to a really small school, so I always had like just very few people. Like we all grew up together because I remember like this girl named Brooke was like one of the first people we went to preschool together, and then probably Susan in 3rd grade was my first like best friend. And then we're still like Facebook friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I would say my first like best friend that had played a big role in my life was like Amanda in like 3rd or 4th grade, and then we were best friends for like 6 or 7 years.
That's good.
Yeah. It's like funny to think back like at the people you knew from elementary school.
Right. It is.
Or like especially if you know where they're at now, you're just like, whoa.
Yeah. Okay. Where was your first sleepover?
Who knows?
I know. I think mine was actually at Caitlin's house because her mom would let us watch R-rated movies, and like my mom was not all about that. She was like, no, and she would get so mad if we watched like PG-13.
Like scary movies or
any kind of movies.
That's so
like
funny.
R-rated. Like we were so young, and I just remember going over to her house eating. We always ate macaroni and cheese and had Diet Coke. And like watched TV or like played Polly Pockets or something.
I loved Polly Pockets when I was little. Oh, Elizabeth was another one of my like first best friends, like 2nd grade, and we used to play Polly Pockets all the time. My first sleepover was probably, I don't know, probably 2nd or 3rd grade with like Elizabeth and Susan, and I don't even know, but probably in there somewhere.
Oh wow. Who was the first person you talked to today?
Didn't we already answer this question? Or text?
No, talk to. Probably my mom, I think.
Like, actually I had a conversation with my boss at work when I first got to work. It's like, hey,
how's it going?
Here. Yeah, that was probably it, my boss.
Okay. Whose wedding were you in the first time?
Probably my Aunt Mary when she married my Uncle Chris. Their wedding was so fun. I wasn't like in it. I was like one of the little kids who handed out the like pamphlet. He like stood at the door and like looked really cute and handed out booklets. But their wedding was so much fun because it was like at an aquarium.
Really?
Yeah, not the ceremony, but or like the
reception.
The reception was, and then Chris like really likes Hershey chocolate, so everyone got like a full-size Hershey bar at their
Oh,
table. Yeah, I like
nice.
remember that a lot because I was like really little. And then I
all
caught
about the chocolate.
I know, and then I caught the bouquet too, so that was like
Wow.
fun. But that was probably the first wedding I was like really in.
Yeah. Mine was my sister Elizabeth. I come from a really big family, so I was in her wedding and I was probably like 12 years old, and it was like such an awkward stage in my life because I was like kind of going through puberty but like kind of not.
Not quite.
And so like my mom wouldn't let me wear a bra with my dress. So she just
That's so funny.
so it was just like kind of awkward for me to like wear a dress. Like I just felt so
not
awkward.
one of the good memories.
So I was a junior bridesmaid with my 2 younger sisters, and then my older sister was just like a regular bridesmaid. I don't know, she was still young at the time as well. But it was really fun because we got to like partake in like all the like fun activities that like my sister did, and I don't know, it was just lots of fun.
Yeah.
So
Weddings
I
are
really
so much
like it.
fun.
I love receptions. It's probably like my favorite part because I love to dance.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to boogie woogie.
To get down and dirty.
To boogie woogie.
Shake it. Shake it.
Shake it.
I'm like so excited now that we're older, like to go to people's weddings and stuff.
What was the first thing you did this morning?
Tried to convince myself not to get out of bed. That's probably
Mine was probably check my phone. I like if it's in bed with me, I'll just check it constantly and like not even know that I'm checking it.
Yeah, I always sleep with like, well, the first thing I do in the morning is check YouTube, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, I'll check my phone and see if I have messages and stuff, and then I'll just turn on my iPad and just start going through my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Because I always watch It's Judy's Time, her vlogs.
What was the first concert you ever went to?
I have no idea. I'm trying to think.
Okay. Well, surprisingly, it was Britney Spears. When
That's
I was in
awesome.
like 4th grade, my aunt is super cool, and she like let us blast the song Roses. I don't know if you've heard it by Outkast.
Yeah.
And like she loved that song. She
That's
like
so
wouldn't care
funny.
what we listened to in the car, so that was awesome. And she got us lawn seats to see Britney Spears.
That's so cool.
It was awesome.
Britney Spears, I mean today, I don't know. She's just kind of like, I just feel like her fan base is like her really old fan, like her older fan base from back in the day.
Right.
She's not really that big of a deal anymore to like the newer generation, but back when we were younger, like in elementary school, she was so cool.
She was so cool.
So cool. All of her
Baby
music
One
was
More
so
Time.
cool. I still like that song.
Or
like,
is it Baby One More Time?
Yeah.
What was your first concert?
I don't know. It was probably like, you probably never went to any of these, but they always had these like Christian concert tours. It would be like a bunch of like Christian bands would just come and just like play. I don't remember what it was called, but it was some type of like Christian band festival I went to with a bunch of my friends in like 5th grade. But yeah, I don't
I've
know.
never heard of anything. Such a thing.
Yeah.
First broken bone.
Let's see. I don't think I ever broke a bone when I was a kid. Like I had injuries, but I never actually broke a bone. I think my first broken bone was 2 years ago, like my senior year of high school. I got a skull fracture when I played soccer, and it was just like a bad accident. Some girl just hit me perfectly in the face, and I broke like all 4 bones around my eye. And then I had just like the best black eye ever for like a month. It was so cool. But yeah, that was probably my first broken bone actually, because even though I like injured myself a lot as a kid, I don't think I ever broke a bone.
Yeah. I broke my arm. I was my aunt, the same aunt that's really cool. She lives in a mansion, and I was in like the attic part of her house, and she has like stairs going down from like the tippy top like part in the attic, and I was like going down the stairs, and my cousin and I both really had to go to the bathroom, and she accidentally pushed me down the side of the step, and so all my weight landed on my arm, and like I was just bawling. Like my aunt was gonna take me home because my parents left early, and this was at like Easter or something.
Yeah.
And so like my aunt had to carry me down, and I couldn't like move my arm at all, and I like still had to go to the bathroom, and I just remember like leaving and her like giving me some ibuprofen, and then just and I was like really young too. So she just dropped me off and broke my arm. So
did you get a cool cast?
I got a purple cast, my favorite color.
Oh.
Yeah, but that hurt so bad, and since
bet.
then I haven't broken a bone. Knock on wood.
Yeah, right.
Okay. First piercing.
My ears. I remember I got my ears pierced probably when I was like 2 years old.
Wow.
And I still remember it because it was like one of those moments. Like, I just remember going to the mall and like being kind of scared, and my mom was like, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. And I just remember like the moment when they did it. I like cried for hours afterwards.
Oh,
And my mom finally like bought me ice cream, and then like it was history.
Oh my gosh.
But
wow.
I was really little.
Yeah, I got my ears pierced when I was 7. But the only thing about getting my ears pierced then was that when I was about 12 years old, I think, I was taking out my earring and my ear ripped. So now, like, my ear lobe is, like, split. And,
Yeah, because you can't even wear an earring.
No, I can't. So I eventually got my ears re-pierced when I was, like, 18. My boyfriend took me, and I got my ears to re-pierce, so it's in a different spot. So I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but
it just looks like a second hole in your ear.
Yeah,
like a second.
And so I don't really want to get the stitches and everything. So oh well, I just think it's a good story to tell.
Yeah, right. Do you have any other piercings besides your ears?
I have my cartilage. My sister actually pierced my cartilage for me using a needle and some ice or an apple or something.
That's how in high school we used to always pierce each other's ears. Like you can buy needles over the counter at pharmacies. They're like 10 cents. So we would just always go buy a bunch of needles. And like I've pierced like my whole ear before. Like we always just pierce others. And I haven't really had paint on it, so I don't use anything. I just pierce it.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And then actually I tried piercing my nose a couple times.
Somebody else or yourself?
Sides. I did, with like the earrings. So I like pushed it in and like, it hurts so bad. And so now I think I have like a scar from it or something. So that's kind of bad, but that hurt really bad. I'm thinking of just getting it done so the scar is like covered up. I'll be sobbing. First movie you remember seeing? Oh gosh.
It was probably some like Disney movie or something.
Mine was probably like American Ashley movie.
Oh, yeah.
I loved them. Like It Takes Two or something like that. That was a good one. Or The Parent Trap was also really good.
Best. Yeah.
When was your first detention? Oh gosh, this is so embarrassing.
So I want to hear it.
Okay, my first detention was in like 6th grade, and it was because I yelled at my teacher. And
I cannot picture you doing that.
Yeah, I gave her like attitude back. And so when I got my detention, like I was sitting in the room, and then I like felt like weird. So I was like, what is going on? And I checked my pants, and I had gotten my period for the first time. And so
that's what you get.
Oh my gosh. So I like took off my sweatshirt, put it around my pants, and like it was so embarrassing.
That's so
I was like,
funny.
I hope my teacher doesn't know.
That's hilarious.
It was so embarrassing. So yeah.
My first detention wasn't until I was a senior in high school, because like we always fought the rules at my tiny little private school. But when I was senior in high school, they started getting really strict about our tardies, and I just never went to school. And I was always tardy. Like, I just never went. So, it was, like, me and, like, my two best friends at the time. We all got detention at the same time, so it was awesome, because we were all in detention at the same time, and that was, like, the only detention I ever got. But our detentions you had to pay for. Like, you had to pay them $5 every hour you had to be in detention. Wow. So, like, some people had 4-hour detentions, and it was the worst because you had to give them, like, $20 for it.
Dang.
So that taught you, like, not to do it because you didn't want to have to pay for it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Our detentions were free.
Whatever.
Okay, well. What were the first lessons you ever took? Mine were piano lessons. So I have like funny stories about those because the first piano teacher I ever had, I got locked out of with my sister one time. Like my mom just dropped us off. She didn't even wait for us to get inside, and she just left.
See ya.
And then my sister and I just played some games and like it was an hour lesson because 30 minutes for my sister and 30 minutes for me. And so she just left, and then she finally came back and she felt so bad because, like, they weren't home. The doors were locked.
That's so funny.
I had another piano teacher that I didn't like.
Uh-oh.
And so, like, he came to our house, and I just did not like him. I think I was, like, really rude to him, and I feel really bad because he's old. So, but yeah, piano lessons were the first lessons I ever had, and no, I do not play piano anymore. I'm not very good.
That's funny. Mine were clarinet lessons. Me and my brother both took them because we both played clarinet in band. I was in like 5th grade, and we like would go to this lady's house, and she would like help us out with it. I don't know, but it was clarinet lessons. Like I can barely remember them, but those were definitely the first lessons I ever took. Alrighty, let's next.
Who is your first person beauty related on YouTube you ever watched?
I was trying to think of this. Like I feel like I've been watching YouTube for so long. It's so hard to remember.
Mine was Lauren Curtis. Like,
Lauren
she
Curtis.
just made me like love YouTube and everything about beauty related stuff. I would write down all the products she would recommend, and she's so funny
and she's so pretty too.
She is, and you can relate to her in so many ways, and oh my goodness, she is amazing, and she deserves like everything that she's worked so hard for. So I love you, Lauren, and I hope you're watching this video.
Lauren's #1 fan club. It's Judy's time.